So, what's in the box? Pretty excited about this. Something new today. Sweet! Alright, y'all, I'm pretty excited about this. I've got a new to me at least, camera lens. This is the Lumix 100 to 300 millimeter telephoto lens. And I can't wait to try it out. Let's go. Oh, so what do you think about this lens? Let me give you my first impressions after using this for about an hour. The Panasonic Lumix G 100 to 300 millimeter F4.0-5.6 Mark II. Pretty good lens. Really good lens if you want to talk about price, bang for your buck. I've got this one used on mpb.com. I'll put the link down in the description. It's a great place to get used camera gear and lenses and things like that. If you don't want to pay full price, this was in like new condition, so technically it was used, but it's basically brand new. I got it for $409. I'm not sponsored by them. This video is not sponsored. This is just me telling you about how I got my lens. Overall, I like this lens a pretty good bit. Some pros, like I just said, bang for your buck. That was $409, and you can get 300 millimeter range on a full camera that's 600 millimeter. That's awesome. You can't get that for that price anywhere else. It's got a nice sharp lens on it. One particular photo, when I was going back and looking through them, really stood out is this picture right here of the dandelion. You can see each tiny little hair on there. So I mean, the detail that this lens picks up is really, really good, nice and sharp. A couple other things that I really like about it is the size. I mean, for a telephoto lens, most telephoto lenses are gonna be twice this size, 3 times this size. I mean, I can put this in my camera bag, take it anywhere I go, no problem. It's light, I can carry around this all day. One thing that did surprise me about this lens is I've never used a 600 millimeter lens before. This one's supposed to be 100 to 300 millimeter, but in a micro four thirds, that's 200 millimeter to 600 millimeter. So I thought I was gonna go outside and be able to zoom all the way in, and I was gonna be right up on top of that woodpecker. It didn't get as close as I thought it would. I did get close, but I thought at first whenever I got this lens, it was gonna be like, boom, right there. I was gonna be right on top of it, and it doesn't get as close as I thought it would. That woodpecker is higher in that tree than I thought it was. One other thing I didn't like a whole lot about it is the manual focus. I do like to shoot a lot of video and a lot of pictures with manual focus. If you're gonna dial this in manually, it's gonna take you a little while. You're gonna have to spin it a pretty good ways. But I mean, I was able to get it there. It just takes longer than you thought. If you're doing some bird photography, things like that, it might not be the best because you're gonna be sitting there spinning and your bird may fly off. You may miss the shot. It flew away, I missed it. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good. The autofocus was pretty good. A lot of times, with the bird up there and there's lots of limbs and things like that, a lot of times it wanted to autofocus on the limb next to it or something and not necessarily on my subject. I don't know if that's something I need to work on with the lens or if it's just a setting in the camera I need to play around with. It's just something that I'm gonna have to use the lens more and get used to it. But overall, my initial impression was that was something that I can definitely improve on. One last thing that I noticed, if I'm gonna use this lens for video, I'm gonna need a tripod or I'm gonna need to set the camera on something so it'll be stable. If I zoom all the way in, it is really hard to keep that camera steady. There's gonna be some shaking. There was a couple times when the subject was still, it wasn't too bad, but if I'm going to be using it very much, or if I'm going to be shooting much video at all, it would be great to have a tripod. And if you're trying to walk and shoot video with this, not going to work at all. Not going to work at all. But with all that being said, what did you think of the photos I got? Let me know down in the comments below which one you like the best. What are your thoughts on this lens? I know it's an older lens. I like it. Hope to be using it a good bit more in the future. We'll see. Until then, thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.